Hey guys, welcome to my channel here at the Career Counter, where today I will be talking about how to write a high school resume. If you want to see videos like this one in the future, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Stick around until the end of this video for a chance to win our high school resume templates. You want to start your high school resume off by listing your contact information. That's going to go up right at the top of your resume, and it's pretty basic, like you can see from the example contact section on the screen below me. First and last name, pretty basic. Your email address is always important, and I do want to note that your email should just be simple, ideally just like your first and last name at gmail.com. Try not to use any creative or really cutesy like snuggly kittens at Gmail, that type of thing. This is the employer's first impression of you, so you really want to show that you are professional. For your phone number that you list, you can list a cell phone number, that's totally fine, but along the same lines, make sure that your voicemail greeting is professional, so nothing like, hey, what's up? It should sound something like, hi, you've reached first and last name. I can't answer your call. Please leave me a message and I will return your call as soon as possible. I know it's very boring and very dry, but when you're in your job search, that's the kind of voicemail greeting that you want employers to hear. Other than that, you can also include a LinkedIn address if you've got a LinkedIn profile. If you don't yet in high school, I'm guessing probably most high schoolers don't, so don't worry about that. If you have a website or a blog or some place online where you showcase like a portfolio or something like that, if you're into art or you want some kind of artistic type of job or you're applying to art school, then you can definitely include a link to that in your contact information section as well. The second category of your high school resume can be something called like a profile, a professional profile. You can even call it a summary or an objective. If you do use an objective statement, my advice is don't make it self-centered, but make it employer-centered. Or I'll give you an example. Instead of saying, I hope to gain valuable skills in XYZ working at ABC company, you can say, I hope to utilize strengths of such and such, whatever strengths are needed in the job. You can look in the job posting and see what they're looking for. And you want to make them know how you can add value, how you can help them improve maybe a process or what you can bring to the table basically as an employee. So you don't want to make it all about what you hope to gain, and you don't want to make it all about you. You want to very clearly let the employer know or the admissions committee know, hey, this is how I'm going to add value to this job based on these strengths that I have. This is how I can add value to your campus community. This is how I plan to contribute. So if you decide to not use an objective and you go more the profile route, you can see there's an example of the profile up on the screen. This student is looking for a job in like a retail job. So what I would recommend in your profile is you want to list a few strengths, again, that relate to the job you're trying to get. Look at the job posting, see what the employer has listed. What are they looking for? What do you specifically have that you're really good at, that you rock at, that you can, that will allow you to help this employer and add value to this job. So you can mention the industry you want to get into. If you don't have, like if you're going to take your resume to a mall and you're going to just apply to a lot of different stores, you can keep it kind of general and say a retail position. Or if there's a company that you're super excited about, you can also list the company name, and you can make different versions of your resume that are targeted to each job you are looking for. And that's actually what I recommend you do. You target a different job to, a different resume to every job you apply for. It sounds like a lot of work, but it's actually really not. You just switch out a few keywords here and there, and you tailor your job to each job posting. So for the profile, you want to make it employer-centered, not self-centered. You want to be specific if you can. Mention the industry or the specific company, the job title that you're seeking, and then you want to make a connection between your strengths, your values, your goals, and the company. That's the key. So do some research, see what the company's mission is, what their values are, print out that job posting, see what kind of skills they're looking for, and make that connection in your profile. Education typically goes next after your summary or your profile on your high school resume. This is a great way to showcase, I mentioned in the beginning of the video, you can really capitalize on your high school experience. Yes, you can absolutely list this on your resume. And then when you get into college, you can list your college experience and you can really market it like an actual job. So you can see in the example on the screen I've given you of a student in high school, the student decided to list their GPA. I typically, as a career coach and a resume writer, I recommend for students, if you've got a 3.0 or above, list your GPA. If you don't, then you can just leave your GPA off. If you have any honors or AP courses that you're enrolled in, definitely market those. That shows that you are a really a good student, you're a hard worker, you go above and beyond. You notice that the student is on the honor roll, they're listing some sports. You can definitely list any kind of participation on team sports. If you have any kind of a leadership role that you've held in any student clubs or organizations or sports, definitely highlight that. And then I already mentioned the AP courses. If you have any AP courses, you don't want to necessarily list every single course you've taken. You want to, again, really tailor the information that you include on your resume for each specific job or university if you are writing a resume to get into college. So, for example, if you are looking to become an English major at a certain school, you'll want to highlight any AP English classes or any literature courses, or maybe you've done like some creative writing courses, or maybe you entered a creative writing contest and you won like 5th place. I mean, that's amazing. Put that on your resume. Another category that can go on your high school resume is extracurricular activities. You can title this different ways. It really depends on what kind of experience you're wanting to highlight. But as I mentioned in the prior section when I was talking about education, is you can really highlight any kind of club participation, extracurricular activities you've participate or are participating in. You can either list extracurriculars in your underneath your education, or you can make it its own category like this student chose to do because they really wanted to highlight that they were student activities chair. So again, that leadership, those leadership positions and skills you really want to highlight. And this student actually listed this extracurricular as like they would a job. And so this is where, when I said, you really have more to market on your resume than you realize, this is a perfect example. Even though you didn't get paid, we don't tend to value things as much in our society if you're not paid. And that's not the case for when you're looking for a job and when you're writing your resume. Even if you weren't paid, this is still really valuable experience and valuable skills that you have received. And this is how you can really market yourself to a potential admissions committee or an employer and say, hey, this is what I did, this is what I achieved. They're not going to be able to tell that if you just list, student activities chair, and then you don't describe anything underneath. They're going to say, oh, well, okay, that's interesting, but it's not really clear to them exactly what you did, the skills that you gained, the achievements that you had. So this student went into detail and they actually described what it is that they did. And then not only that, they put key achievements underneath and really spelled out to the employer, this is exactly what I achieved. And this is how, so in the employer's mind, when they read that, they're thinking, oh, wow, this person is a rock star and they achieved this in this role. So they can have similar outcomes for us in this job. This is how they're going to be as an employee. For your work experience section, first of all, if you don't have any work experience yet, don't stress. You don't have to actually include a work experience section on your high school resume. But if you do have anything like volunteer experience, any part-time jobs, even babysitting, pet sitting, things like that, lawn mowing, all that kind of stuff is really valid. And you can definitely, and I encourage you to list it on your resume under your work experience especially if you've been a volunteer. You should be really proud of any kind of work where you're not paid. An employer, if I was an employer and I saw a resume where a candidate is doing or has done volunteer work, that speaks so highly to the fact that you are, you're working for free, you're juggling your studies and academics and sports and all that other stuff, and you're volunteering in your community. So I think it looks amazing on the resume. Definitely include it. You can see an example of the work experience of this sample resume on the screen, and this student chose to list their volunteer experience at a pet shelter. So when you're listing your experience on your resume, or when you're describing really whether it's an academic project or coursework or involvement in a club or work experience, whenever you are writing phrases on your resume, you always want to be as descriptive as you can. I know I've said this before, and I'm probably like sounding like a broken record at this point, but you want to highlight your achievements. You don't want to just list your job functions. That's pretty generic. You want to actually tell your story and show how you have gone above and beyond in your jobs or in your activities. What makes you shine? How will you add value to either a job or to an institution? So anytime you can quantify on your resume or add metrics, for example, instead of just saying helped care for animals at a shelter, you can say taught approximately 100 dogs obedience and agility. And so again, add those numbers in. It'll add credibility to your resume. Just a couple more things before I wrap up the video. One is do not include references on request. That is totally outdated. You don't need to do that. If an employer wants references, they will ask you a little farther along in the hiring process, so you can keep that off your resume. Your resume should only be one page. If you're in high school, there's no hard and fast rules with resume writing. It's not like it's gonna count against you if you have a 2-page resume, but most employers and hiring managers that I've spoken with over the years really do appreciate more succinct and shorter resumes, because they don't have time. They just don't have time to read like a 2-3 page resume, and they're just gonna start tuning stuff out. So definitely keep it to a page. Again, tailor a different resume to every job and every school that you apply to. I cannot stress this enough. Hopefully this video has been helpful and kind of broken down the process of how to write your first resume. That concludes our video for today. Thank you for watching. Make sure, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. And if you want a chance to win our high school resume template, go ahead and leave a comment down below. You can mention something that was helpful or that you learned in the video. Hopefully you can take away something valuable, or even just say hello, and I will be doing a drawing and you'll be contacted if you are the winner, and you will get sent our high school resume template package. See you next time, guys.